Today I want to talk about Zikr of Allah, that how important and how powerful Zikr of Allah is, which is these days overlooked by thinking about it as just rotating of the tasbih. But that is just a tip of the iceberg. But if you go deep into it, you will realize that how effectively it changes your life. And I have also witnessed with my own eyes, and I've seen people, and I've also experienced that how it completely changes, transforms a personality. So zikr in our life is very, very important. So today I want to talk about it, but before talking about zikr, I want to first talk about how a person reaches that stage of personality where he forgets Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and due to which his heart becomes hard and he is unable to do good deeds. So first I want to talk about this personality, how a personality develops, and then I want to run a diagnostic test, and then what are the remedies for it. So when I was in college, I read about Freud and Jung. You know, they're the famous psychologists. Some 100 years ago, they said, when you go out in the public, you're bombarded with this information, and your mind accepts and receives all that information, and it stores it in its mind, and it keeps the information it likes, and it rejects the information it doesn't like, but it's still there in the back of your mind. It jumps out sometime. So based on that information, a personality is born with id, ego, and super-ego. And this is what these guys, they have said this 100 years ago. And I was thinking to myself that today, we have got these two sources of communication, which is TV and mobile phone, which is in turn connected to a third source, which is internet. Now a 5-year-old boy, he's sitting in his room and he is connected to the whole world, and he's receiving all that information through his mobile phone while sitting in his room, and he doesn't have to go out in the public. And imagine the amount of information he is receiving and what sort of information he is receiving. There is no filtration to it. And based on that information, his personality is born. And similarly, some other kid, some other guy, some other girl or boy in the world, they are also going through the same experience. And these boys and girls are developing personality which is purely based on their carnal desires. And they become the slaves of the society. And they are not slaves of the perfect deity, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because all the time, they're just sitting in front of these devices, and they're just taking in all that information. And based on that information, of course, their personality is born. And so when they grow up, they go out and they resonate their ideas. So when they do that, a society is born. Society of people that have their own ideas. Most of the ideas are weird because they are following their desires. There was no filtration in that communication that they were receiving through internet and mobile phone and TV. So based on that information, their personality was born. And now they are behaving because of that information that is stored in their mind. And now this is a proper mind that has got his own ideas, and he wants to do, or she wants to do, whatever comes to their mind. and there's no stopping. So what is good, what is bad, it doesn't matter. They will go and do it. And today we can witness it with our own eyes, and we can see the society, that how people are behaving in the society. So what basically happens is, when you follow your own desires, then nothing is bad. And since you are living in a society, whatever you do, you will be appreciated. For example, if you want to commit a zina, you don't want to marry, and you just want to have, a relationship without marriage, in this kind of society, they'll say it's fine. And then if you want to go and do a job in a Saudi organization, it's fine. It doesn't matter. If you want to backbite someone in the college or school, that's called socializing, gossip. And if you want to drink, that's fine. You can drink as well. You can have alcohol as well. It's no problem. So alcohol and milk becomes the same. So with this behavior, with this personality, you are allowed to do everything that you want. Like that's why Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, "Ad-dunya sijnul mu'min wal jannatul kafir." That this world is like a prison for the believer, and for the non-believers, it's just Jannah, it's heaven, because they are allowed to do everything. So this is a personality that is born now, right? Now, let's run a diagnostic test that whether we are suffering from it or not. It's a very simple diagnostic test. If somebody asks you, hey, it's prayer time, let's go to the mosque, and you say, I don't feel like it, so it means you are affected. It means you don't feel like going and doing a good deed. It means that something is wrong with your heart. And somebody says, hey, it's time, let's go and recite Quran. You say, can't. Say, let's go and hear that Bayan, let's go and listen to that person who's talking about but you don't feel like it. But if somebody says that, hey, let's go for movies, and you say, yeah, fine, let's go. Let's have a party. Yeah, fine, let's go. So it means there has been some contamination. That's why you don't feel like doing good deeds. Because all this time you were receiving this information, it was contaminating your heart. It was contaminating, it was affecting your heart. And your heart is unable to respond to the call of Allah, to a good cause. Why? Because all this time you were receiving this information that has completely affected your heart. And see, the sins are of two types, one that can be seen and one that can't be seen. The seen sins are like zina, like lying, backbiting, all these sins that you can see. And some of the sins are you cannot see, but they are affecting your heart, and that you're not even aware of it, and it's damaging, it's contaminating your heart. For example, if I give you a glass of water with an ink in it, a drop of ink in it, it becomes dark color, and I say, can you drink this water? You say, no, I can't, because it's dirty. I can see there's some contamination in the water. Or if I give you a glass of water and I put just a drop of urine into it, sharp ka ek katra agar main usme dal दूं, you will not notice it, and if I give you the water, you will drink it. So this is the unseen sins, which you cannot see, but it enters your system and it damages it. So now you have realized that, okay, my heart has been contaminated, that is why I can't respond to the call of Allah. So what should I do? So Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, okay, your heart becomes rusty, just like iron. when it gets rusty. So your heart also gets rusty. The Sahaba Karam Radwanahum when asked Rasulullah, how can we clean it? They said, Nabi Kareem also said two things. One is Kitabullah, Quran Majid, reciting Quran, and Zikrullah. So Zikrullah, the Zikr of Allah is the remedy of all that contamination of 20, 30 years that we've been receiving. Now, if you want to clean it and want to respond to good things and want to become a good person, want to become a good Muslim, the only remedy that you can have is basically Zikrullah. So Zikr of Allah, why does it cleans your heart? It completely wipes it. All that junk that we have put in our heart for the last 20, 30 or 40 or 50 years or whatever, when you start doing the zikr, what it does, that it cleans your heart. So when your heart is clean and pure, then your eyes are open. And then you can understand things clearly. Because when your heart is closed, heart is hard, then there's a veil in front of you and you cannot understand or see or hear things properly. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Quran, لَهُمْ أَعْيُنٌ لَا يُبْصِرُونَ بِهَا لَهُمْ آذَانٌ لَا يَسْمَعُونَ بِهَا لَهُمْ قُلُوبٌ لَا يَفْقَهُونَ بِهَا كَالْأَنْعَامِ بَلْ هُمْ أَضَلُّ. Allah is saying that they have eyes but they cannot see. They have ears but they cannot hear. They have heart but they cannot understand. They are but like animals. So when you don't have Allah and Rasul in your life, then Allah is saying you are entitled. He gives you a title of Kal-An'am, like animals. Because what animals do is they just follow their carnal desires, eat, sleep, and have sex. That's it. If we follow the same thing, then of course there's no difference between them and us. We are human beings. We need to have some kind of rules and regulations and restrictions in our lives. Otherwise, it's like a life of the jungle where there are no rules, no regulations. So zikr of Allah is the remedy. Also, there's another thing called sohbat. I'll be talking about sohbat some other day, but today is zikr of Allah. The zikr of Allah is the remedy to clean your heart. That is what Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said. That is what Quran says. Kalla bal rana ala qulubihim ma kanu yaksibun. And their hearts have got rusty because of what they are doing. The Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, when you sin, a black dot appears in your heart. And you say Tawbah Astaghfar on it, the black dot is removed. But if you don't say that, don't Tawbah and Astaghfar, the black dot becomes stubborn. And then you sin another time, another black dot, until your heart becomes black. And when it becomes black, and then it loses the most precious thing, which is to differentiate between good and bad. So now, the only thing to clean this heart is zikr of Allah. So zikr of Allah, with the zikr of Allah, we can clean our contaminated hearts, inshallah.